Lucas, and I'm one of the artists with Caring Arts. And today I have a winter project, a Luminaria, that we're going to be working on. I know it may seem like winter's coming too soon, but the Christmas trees are up at Walmart, so I figured it's time for us to get started working on our winter projects too. So today for the Luminaria, I have a list of things that you will need, starting with a large Chinese takeout carton. These are available for purchase at Michael's or any craft store, but what we recommend is that you ask your favorite takeout place next time you get some Chinese food for dinner. Say, hey, maybe could you throw in a couple of extra cartons for me? And for us, they said yes. Maybe you might have to buy them off them or something like that, but if you check out one of your local takeout places, they should be able to help you out. You will also need a pair of scissors, a Sharpie marker, and a pencil. You can also get some other colorful markers as well. Some sort of glue. We recommend super glue if you have it, because typically people like to put these outside, and the wind and all the crazy Chicago weather that we get, it's just gonna hold up better. But you can also use Elmer's glue, which does work well, especially if you're keeping it indoors. An awl will work perfectly to poke holes in the carton. I'll show you how to do that. But if you do not have an awl, a small screwdriver will also work well. Sometimes the little glasses kit screwdrivers work well because they are tinier. You'll need a tea light to put in at the end to light it up. And then you'll need some tin foil for decoration. And then you'll need 3 different sized circles. So these are just for tracing. So I have here like a water bottle cap. You can use a pill cap, that's perfect. Here's another cap that came with the glue. As long as there's 3 different sizes, that way we can trace them, cut them out, and build a snowman. So why don't we get started? So the first thing that you need to do is to take the large Chinese takeout carton and use your scissors to cut off these box flaps. But make sure that you keep them all in one piece individually, because we will be using these for our circles that we'll be cutting out later. So you don't want to cut them up too much, but I'll show you here. So there's one. And there you go, with your 4 flaps. So our next step is we're going to cut out 2 circles of each of the 3 sizes that we have. And then, so we'll start out by tracing them with our pencil on the white flaps, and then we'll cut them out, and these is what we will use for the snowman. So I can show you here. They don't need to be perfect, because what snowman is, but as long as you can see the lines and it looks like a circle, you should be good to go. So I got my 3 sets of 2 circles, and I'm just going to start by cutting them out. This is also a great project to do with kids, or if you don't feel comfortable with them using scissors to do some of this cutting, you can definitely trace out a bunch of circles and have them pre-cut. And then let your kids color them. And now you can see an appearance from my cat. So the next part is we're going to use the owl, or if you have a small screwdriver, to poke holes in this little triangle that's on two sides of the box. And that's what we're gonna use for our Christmas tree. So the holes, once they have the candle in it and it's dark and they light up, they're gonna look like ornaments. So I will show you. Just grab it so your hand isn't on the other side and kind of just poke it through and do it all over whatever design you want. If you want them in like a nice string, because that's how you do your Christmas lights. And that'd look pretty nice too. So there, that's one side. And then you're gonna go to the other side where the triangle is, and you're gonna do the same thing. Okay, so now we have our holes ready, and we can begin on our next step. So the next step, we are going to take our 3 different sized circles and glue the snowmen on the other 2 sides, the sides that we haven't poked holes yet. Like I said earlier, I'm going to use super glue because I would probably use this Luminaria outside and the super glue is going to hold much stronger. But you can use Elmer's glue, especially if it's going to be inside and it's not going to be windy. Just sometimes when you use Elmer's glue and it's windy, some of these circles might blow off. But be pretty careful with this because it is super glue for a reason and it is super sticky. So you want to make sure it's opened up. Again, if you're doing this project with kids, help them out, especially with super glue, because you don't want the hands getting stuck together or anything. So I'm gonna put this. And if you keep that flat for a little bit too, it'll help it so that it dries easier. Super glue tends to dry pretty quickly, so does Elmer's glue. But if you keep it upright, you might run in the risk of the circles sliding off and then your snowman not looking too organized. Take our second circle here. So I'm just going to let that dry for a sec so that stays on. I like to overlap mine a little bit because I think it gives it a little bit of a 3D effect. But you can see on this one too, these ones weren't overlapped. So those seem like they're sticking pretty well. Now I'm going to go to the other side and do the same thing. So we're going to let that dry for a couple of seconds till it feels like it's on there pretty good. And then we're going to move on to the next step. So the next step is you're going to take your Sharpie or whatever markers that you want to decorate the snowman with. So I'm going to do something simple, but I'll show you here. Draw his little stick arms. And like I said, you can, put the buttons down like that. You can draw a scarf, but make sure you decorate both sides. And how cute are they? Moving into one of our final steps here is to bring out that awl or screwdriver again, and now it's time to poke holes on the sides where the two snowmen are. So you can add as many as you like. The more holes, the more light that's going to shine through, the brighter it's all going to seem. So I'm going to move on to the next side. Okay, so now we have the holes poked on all of our sides, and we're good to go to one of our last steps. So one of our last steps here is to take your tin foil and your marker, and you're gonna freehand a star, 2 of them, and then you're gonna cut them out. So I like to use the non-shiny side. It's kind of tough when you look at it because they look very similar. That way, if there's any marker remnants after you cut it out, you can use the shiny side, glue it so that the shiny side's showing, so you don't see any marker lines. But it's totally up to you. Make the star as big or as little as you want. So they don't have to be perfect, but you just want 2 stars because you'll need them for the 2 sides where the Christmas trees are going to be. So once you got that, you just want to cut them out. And tinfoil is really, really easy to cut through, so just be careful when you are cutting to take your time because you could easily cut right through the whole star. So there's one of our stars. So now we have our 2 stars, and we're going to glue them right above where the tree is. This little flap area, it'll be nice because it'll cover up where the little cardboard overlaps. So you want to go back and take that glue. Like I said, it's not perfect, but that is totally okay. Tinfoil is kind of hard to play with. But I'll just let that sit there and dry for a couple of seconds. Maybe go back if I realize there's any flaps sticking up, put in a little glue behind there and pressing it down some more. But that should hold for now. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And now you see, here's the finished product. Once you're all done decorating, poking the holes you want in it, drawing whatever you want on your little Luminaria box, the last step is if you're going to put it outside, so it doesn't blow away, you want to fill a little bag with either some sand, some rocks, some marbles, anything to weigh the Luminaria down. That way it won't, blow down the street. So you put that in and weigh it down. And then you need a little tea light candle here. And so we're going to put that in there. We can see it glow. How cool does that look, huh?